Hello and welcome to Let's Ride with Stonewolf. You have joined me just leaving Abington. I've just done a charge. I'm well behind at this stage. It's really annoying because I've got a long way to go. I'm on my way up to Inverness. So, we're in Scotland. Previously I was saying, we're on our way to Scotland. But, we're for sure in Scotland. Which exit did she say? Oh boy. That one? Maybe? This one. Yeah. I got it wrong. Alright, this... Don't like this. Ugh. Come on. No, for f***'s sakes. Get out of the way. Like, a normal person would let you do your turnaround, but no. Right, we don't want to be going that way, apparently. We want to be going this way. Google is just not very good at directions. Who knew? We're going up this way a bit, and then we're gonna like move away from the motorway, which is like there. Which is kind of why I thought we might be going that way, but maybe not. I'm just gonna reiterate. If you've been marathoning this, you might not. Might be annoyed of hearing this, but I have only recently recovered from a chest infection, so my voice may be weird, and I might cough and make weird throat noises and stuff. Don't worry about it. If it's too disgusting, I'll edit it out. Yeah. How is the day going? Well, I've said we are a bit behind time. The battery was quite warm for that charge, so we haven't gone into the red, which is good, but we are struggling to get our best charge times. That was a 42-minute stop. We were already an hour behind, so we're now an hour and a bit behind. This is bad. In fact, we're over an hour and a bit behind, come to think of it. Because it was a pain to get started charging there. It's very annoying because, my scheduled arrival time in Inverness was already quite late. If we were on time, and that's going to be late, we are probably going to get there sometime around midnight, which is infuriating, but we'll see. It didn't help that we got to that stop with lower battery than we intended. Well, that's the status update. I'm done being a negative Nancy now. Nobody wants to hear that. So let's talk about the positives. Let's talk about how nice some of this landscape is. Let's talk about how nice this road is. How gloriously empty this road is. That is one of the advantages of paralleling a motorway. People tend not to be on the road. But, oh, it's quite cool actually. have all of my vents open because it's been quite warm. My bike says it's 23 degrees, by the way. I don't feel 23 degrees hot, but it's not cool. Put it like that. But it is quite nice as riding weather goes. I should maybe have closed my vents a little, but it's too late for that now. I'm not stopping to do that. We'll just take that as it comes. Had some interesting conversations at that stop. It was pretty cool. Oh. Yes. Oh, even more yes. And maybe bugs. Yeah. Oh. Traction control still stepping in. Even though I've turned it down a bit. As I said earlier, I'm experimenting with turning it down a bit. You can hear all about that in one of the earlier episodes. I think episode 1. But yeah, that was quite nice. I had some cool conversations. When I was like trying to do the charge authorization dance over and over again. Sorry, bank, but this guy came up and like struck up a chat, and I was like, he was super positive about it. He was like, oh yeah, it's cool, and like he understood the terms and stuff. And it turns out that he is a Bramo. Holy shit! Like, Bramo is like one of the OG modern electric motorcycles. I think his is from 15. Yeah, it's all weird and stuff. That company is long dead. He's like got one of 3 in the UK. How amazing is that? I'd like to just randomly meet someone like that at a service is like charging. But yeah, we had to chat about like Tesla chargers and like the specs of the bikes and like how they compare and all of this stuff and like how things have moved on, and it's like, oh, that was so good. My charge was ages. This big, like, group of Harleys come in. Like, they were checking out my bike, sitting at the charger, and then they bumped into me, like, in the services, and I waited to chat, and like, they were really positive about it. One of them had actually ridden a live wire, which is cool. He thought it was cool. So like we, I give kind of a couple of basic specs on my bike, and I talked to them about how cool it is and how much I enjoy it. And we talked about this trip that I'm doing. They've actually just come back from Inverness, and yeah, we talked about it, and they were like, "Whoa, you're doing that? That's hardcore." And I'm like, "Yes." And they wish me luck, and yeah, it's good to have positive like interactions with like that kind of crowd, because often they can be one of the groups that is very much against it. But yeah, it was good to chat to them, and this is what I mean about like, it's important to see electric bikes out in the wild. It's part of the reasons why I still do this, because like motorbikes need to be seen as a normal thing in order for them to really catch on. And the more people you meet and talk to and tell about your adventures and stuff, the more people who think it's normal, and the more people who will like tell their friends, yeah, we met this guy like on an electric bike who said he'd been to Slovenia and back, and he was up doing this thing in Scotland. Wow. That was a temporary 40. I'm not sure what that's about. Slow down just in case. What's going on? I'll stick it on cruise control. I don't see what that's about. Huh. Anyway, yeah, it's important to be out, like repping the brand or whatever. It's weirdness, but like, just I don't want to be the guy who sours everyone's opinion of electric motorbikes just because I'm like, yeah, mate, I need to pee off. Yay, editing. But yeah, I like to leave people with a positive impression of the bike, and not like a false positive impression of the bike. Like, I'm pretty honest about it. Like I was telling the Harley guys, like, yeah, you know, you get such and such a range, but like, once you get up into the hills and you're in the twisties and it's kind of slow anyway, like that number stretches, you know. One of my favorites is like, how far does your bladder last? You know, when people ask me what range my bike gets, I'd be like, what range does your bladder get? Because for me, that tends to be true. Like, my bladder sometimes, it loses the battle, but yeah. This is quite nice. I'm liking this road. This is a little more interesting than the one we came up to Abington on. But yeah, I don't know. Motorbikes exist to be ridden, not washed and admired. And the more you ride them, the more you're out there, the more you meet people, and when you meet people, you know, leave a good impression. But someone actually tried to steal this bike. I mentioned this earlier. I don't know if I don't think I've talked about it on Let's Ride before, but way back near the end of January, my little disc lock has an alarm in it, and the alarm started to run out of battery. So I took the disc lock out of my luggage, brought it into the house to change the battery, and then I needed to go to the shop, and I forgot the disc lock. So I parked it up at the shop. I just like put it on the steering lock, went in, did my shopping, put my shopping in the bike, went back in to go for a pee because they have a toilet in the shop, and I come back out and the bike's not there. I'm like, where's the bike? And there's a bunch of guys like trying to pick it up off the floor nearby. turns out, like, one of them is an off-duty cop. And he had stopped a couple of guys who were, like, trying to wheel it away. Because they basically, the two guys in balaclavas had, come up to where the bike was parked. One of them jumped on and stabilized the bike, and the other one, like, got in under it and, like, jammed the bar over. And it snapped the steering lock. And it also broke my seat latch, which is extremely annoying. But you can find out all about that in episode 2. Yeah, so they kind of like went to wheel it off, and then this guy, who is himself a motorcyclist, he intercepted them. He's off duty, and they shoved the bike at him and ran away. Okay, fair enough. I'm like, so like, I gave him a report of like, where I'd been and all that stuff, and gave him my details, and the police give me a call just to like follow up, and they were like, oh yeah, they shoved the bike at him. That's definitely assault. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm the beneficiary of police corruption. Fine. But despite this, there's nothing they can do. There's two lads in balaclavas. They have a van with the plates removed, because that's a thing you can just do. And yeah. And like, this is at 2 o'clock in the afternoon outside like the big Tesco. And when I say outside, I mean like literally at the front door. Right? If you're an American, right, imagine being at like Walmart and just parking your bike literally at the front door of Walmart, and someone tries to steal it. Alright, there you go. Absolute insanity. So brazen. But yeah, because my excess is very large, I just didn't bother reporting it. There's no point. Like, I reported to the police, that's it. I left my insurance out of it. Yeah, I paid like 1,300 quid to have the steering lock fixed and the brake levers replaced. And yeah, as explained in a previous episode, the parts came in from Italy and the shop just like didn't do anything. That's not really on Energica so much as it is on BMW Motorrad. My local Motorrad is a Energica service partner. I'm not going to name them, I think that's unfair, but yeah. You can, if you really feel like it, it shouldn't be that hard to Google it. But yeah, that was very annoying, as I'm sure you can imagine. Okay. It was like, is there a brick? on this one. I'm like, yes. Okay. I'm looking at my show notes. That's what's happening there. That's what this green thing is. 20. Okay. Unexpected. Oh, you know. Scotland is a little more European than the rest of Britain. 20 is kind of like 30 kilometers an hour. And if you've watched my Euro tour, you'll know that like a lot of continental villages have like a 30 kilometer per hour limit like embedded in the middle of them when you get to like the little center of the town. But yeah, so that was a whole thing that happened. It was extremely annoying, and now I've got to strap my seat again. I had to strap my seat for ages because of the original problem with it, and they've just re-broken it. Thanks. You could just go to episode 2 if you want to hear that whole saga. But please hold while my brain processes these things. I have a suspicion that we will be seeing this road again in a few days' time. But it's not the only weird thing that's happened in Nottingham. I have to say, okay, just like I'm gonna give an impression of Nottingham here by telling these stories. This is a false impression. Nottingham is a lovely city. There is a reason why I moved there. But, you know, as with any city, you know, things happen. So when was it? It was during this week. It was like, was it Tuesday, I think? Maybe it was Wednesday. I think it was Tuesday. But it was Tuesday. In the wee hours of the morning. Third exit. In the wee hours of the morning, a tram, there are trams, this is quite near me in fact, it's a little bit out past my stop, one of the trams derailed and took out a catenary pole. The catenary is like the wires that power the tram. So it took out a pole that supports that. So all the wires came down, and that means the trams can't run. But they were like, yeah, there's not going to be any trams for 2 days. Okay. That's a nuisance. But at the same time, right, just totally coincidentally, it all went down in the city centre. Like, someone stabbed 3 people to death, and like there was talk about a van mounting the curb and ramming people, and like something to do with scooters. There's like several different things happening, and it was all very confused because there weren't any official reports about stuff. Because the officials didn't want to make reports because they were like, well, we don't actually know what's going on yet. Give us a minute. But police were like, yeah, the whole city centre's closed. It's like, okay, fine. But this kept going, and just the whole day there was sirens, because I'm near a major road. Just the whole day there were sirens and sirens and sirens. what is going on? Just madness. Like, it made national news and stuff. People were like, hey, what's happening in Nottingham? And I was like, what? Weird. I mean, I wasn't affected because I live in the suburbs. The British style, so it's a whole conversation about like what the suburb that I live in looks like versus what your imagination of a suburb might be. But yeah, I live in the suburbs, so I was totally unaffected, except I needed to go shopping. I live in a very walkable sort of area, but I don't really fancy any of the shops that are nearby. There isn't a big supermarket within a 15-minute walk of my house. This was like this was a compromise that I made because I don't go to a big shop that much, you know. A couple of times a week, do my shopping. So I ride, bike around. As said before, I don't like using the bike as a just like A to B, but in this case, it's the kind of like the only real sort of I have to go somewhere type of stuff that I use the bike for is, you know, if I go to the shop. I used to go visit some friends, you know, because the public transport in that direction isn't really all that great, but like that's different because I can choose to take a fun route to get there. Going to the shop is just like, oh, I guess I'll go on the ring road for a bit, and I drive down this road past the university and I'm at the shop, you know. I am considering getting a backfeets just for those trips. But yeah, so I had to go to the shop. One issue with this is I dropped the bike off at the BMW dealership to get the steering lock fixed on Monday, and this all kicked off on Tuesday, and I didn't have the bike. So it's like, because normally to get to that shop, if I wasn't taking the bike, I would just get a tram. I think you can see where this is going. I would just get a tram. How does the tram get to the shop? Well, it goes into the city centre and then it comes back out again. Oh dear. So it's like, well, I guess I'll take an orbital bus. Anyway, second exit. The orbital buses aren't too bad. I just, like, they're not a regular thing that I would do. So I don't really know them very well, and like buses in the UK are they're not very like joined up. Like if you live in London, they have a really great system, but in a lot of the UK it's just like, oh, this bus company does things this way and that bus company does things another way, and there's 3 of them in your city and you have to remember which one does things which ways. Nottingham is a little better about that because they actually run a lot of their bus services in-house, which is not something a lot of UK councils do. But there are still like 3 different providers, and I don't really like the ones that go orbital are different to the ones that I would normally use when I'm taking the bus, and all of this kind of thing. Is that an Ineos Grenadier? Yeah. I saw some parked at a dealership a while back, but I've never actually seen one moving. But yeah, so it was always such a pain in the ass because, like, just different provider does things differently. Like the Nottingham in-house buses, you get on the bus, the card reader is there, it's very obvious, and it says on it what to do. You just tap it, and that's it. You get on the bus, you go to where you're going, you just get off. There is another company that goes past my house in and out of town where you tap on and tap off. And this third one, the one that does the orbital, is you just tap on, but they don't explain it, and it's not obvious like where the reader is like it's on top of the bus driver's console, as if you're supposed to like tell the bus driver where you're going, and then he sets the price and then you tap it like some other buses in the UK are. But it's not like that. So you get on and you're like, you don't use this bus very often. You look at the driver and you're like, place that I'm going? And he's like, yeah, just tap the thing. It's like, oh, for sakes. Now I look like an idiot. It's, yeah. Oh, Britain. But, you know, I got to the shop and back. I missed my connection. Because I had to get 2 buses, you see. Missing the connection is really annoying. Missing a connection on the way back is really annoying. Windmills. I like wind turbines. They're pretty. I like it when you can drive up close to them. Look at it. These ones are really short though. Why are they short? It's weird. They're little stubby ones. They have the big blades, but they don't have the tall towers. What's up with that? Ooh, an airplane. But yeah. What? It was good practice though, because I had to do the same thing in order to get back to the dealership, because the trains aren't really scheduled in a way that supported getting to the dealership early yesterday. This is a bit weird. So just whip up and down. Yeah, spoil leaves. This is a pretty cool road. I like this. Scotland is generally a good place to come and ride. It's just so far away. Like, I've already done 290 miles today. And, my hotel is at 462, so I've got a ways to go yet. What, 170? Excuse me. But, wow. Now my body this night was like, oh, you need to get up at 6 a.m. Wow. How about inconsistent sleep? That will definitely help with the motorcycling tomorrow. I'm like, no, it will not. Sleep now, please. And consequently, I am getting a little yawny. It is 20 to 6. And I have been on the road since 7. Well, 7:15, but you know what I mean. Are we coming into a town? It looks like. Is this that town? This is not that town. It's Long Ridge. Not Long Bridge, Long Ridge. And we're gonna stick to 30. Yeah. I haven't. Wow. Normally I do this like call out where like I tell people, hey, towns and villages are places where people live, and those people have communities. Those communities are the towns that you're driving through. And they're just out on their day, going to the shops, walking the dog, sitting in the village square, reading a book, whatever. And they post that 30 limit for a reason. And you should respect it. It doesn't matter a damn really what you do out on the open road, whatever, I don't care. But when you're in someone's little community, you should treat it with respect. You should behave like the guest that you are. I actually come from a little rural community, believe it or not. Yeah, you wouldn't like it if people blasted through your town at like 45 miles an hour in a 30. And you probably wouldn't like it if like a lot of Harleys came like roaring through your town, like just sitting at the traffic light in the middle of the town. So don't do that. It's not okay. Anyway, this is Whitburn. And this is where this episode ends. So, if you've got anything to say, you can hit me up in the comments. I would like to hear it. If you enjoyed this episode, give it a like. Check out some of my other videos. Second exit. If you enjoy those, I would suggest that maybe you should subscribe. And of course, hit that bell. And if you would like to reward me for entertaining you today, you can find links to do so in the description below. Bye-bye.